Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome back to Formula Amateur, where today we are talking about the biggest mistakes each team has made. So this is each team, what was the worst thing, in my opinion, that they have done this year that they should learn not to do or to do something else instead, because, every team has made mistakes. Everybody has those days, but we need to see less of them. And I might do this as an annual thing. We'll see what will happen next year, but yeah, let's talk about what each team did that, in my opinion, was probably the worst thing they could ever do. Kick Sauber. It was really difficult to figure out a mistake that they did because they are quite a small team. Yeah, they've been around the track for many years, but in terms of like what we can fault them for, the only thing that I could think of was not hiring Jonathan Wheatley as team principal fast enough, because ever since Fred Vasseur left, they haven't really had a proper team principal. They have taken turns having like a 3-person team over team principals, but then Jonathan Wheatley stepped up and he has transformed the team to a point scoring, podium achieving team. For somebody who, with Jonathan Wheatley coming in from Red Bull, being able to bring all that experience and how well that team works now, even after he's left, and now being able to transfer that knowledge and that determination into a team that has long been struggling a lot, to now giving a driver who has been in the sport for 15 years and finally achieving his first podium. I feel like, honestly, that he was the ingredient that they were missing, and that's the only thing that I could fault them for, is not having Jonathan Wheatley there years before. Okay, so now let's talk about Williams, and I think their biggest mistake was allowing Carlos Sainz to doubt himself in the beginning of the year. The team has transformed itself from where it was last year, where they were just constantly crashing, and finally that they have 2 capable drivers rather than just one in the team. They are able to do something that the team hasn't been able to do for many years, and the fact that he was sort of so down on himself in the first part of the year that he thought that he was not going to get any podiums, he's not going to score a lot, the car is just really unreliable, and then managed to get 2 podiums for the team. True, one was a sprint race, but it's still 2 podiums, and the team having the best results since like almost a decade. I think if they were just sort of like there for him to embrace him positively mentally, I feel like he would have been more on a positive track than how long it took for him to actually get to a place where he felt very happy with the team. But that's just my opinion in that case. With Racing Bulls, it's instilling confidence in Liam sooner. So obviously he was very down after he got fired from Red Bull and returned to Racing Bulls, and it did affect him for a long time. It was only until I think Monaco when we actually saw him get more confident with the car, and now we're seeing him qualifying in the top 10 almost week to week. So I feel like they just needed to boost him up confidence wise to actually be able to get the effects from him a lot quicker, so the team would have been perhaps higher in the standings than they are where they are now. But yeah, I feel like confidence is a big thing, especially after you want to achieve your dream of being in the big team, but then two races later they give up on you and they're putting you back to where you were, and it's hard to get out of that. And obviously I don't know what mental health support they get when these things happen, but I feel like, especially when the second seat curse for Red Bull is inevitably harmful for everyone's mental health, Red Bull might as well be a one-seat team if they could allow that. But yeah, he has significantly improved from last year. He's a lot less crashy, that's for sure. You know, a lot of people were glorifying him for his results last year, but I feel like this year he is much better than he was last year. Last year, I feel like I was in the minority when I thought he wasn't as good as everyone said he was, simply because he had the propensity to crash a lot. Obviously that was him first starting and having such a stop-start career, where he first came in 2023 temporarily to take over from Ricciardo when he was injured, and then when Ricciardo got better he was gone, and then coming back when Ricciardo got fired like midway through the year again, and then going, and then now finally having a full year, and this being his full-on rookie year. I feel like he has shown a lot of improvements from where we saw him last year, especially compared to how he was also glorified for his time when he was temporarily filling in for Ricciardo. So I feel like, yeah, Liam should have had a lot more pep talk, perhaps. Haas has had a topsy-turvy time. Sometimes they are both point-scoring drivers. Sometimes one of them scores. Quite a few times we saw them pull out miracles, and sometimes we see them both right at the end in terms of point scoring positions, or not scoring any points at all. So I feel like their issue is not having the car be more suited to each racetrack. It felt like they threw away some races, such as Belgium, because they knew it wasn't going to favour them, and as a result they gave up before they even started. I feel like if you design the car around like all the changes suited for the track, your chances of being better increase much more, rather than, you know, just saying, oh, it's not going to suit us anyway, so let's not worry too much about it and just start thinking about the next race where it might be better. Because then you just have all these topsy-turvy times, and you want to be, you know, you're the smallest team there, so you want to show a lot when you don't have many people around. You want to prove yourself in quality rather than quantity, but in order to do that you need to be more adaptable as well. How do you do that? I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a podcaster, but I feel like, trying to allow that flexibility a bit more to effectively get more point scoring positions would be great. Now let's talk about Alpine. So Alpine, what did you do to the car? Whatever they did to the car, meaning that the second seat curse has hit them as well, is just, you know, last year in Brazil they had a double podium, second and third. They were once the championship winning team in 2005 and 2006, and that was, you know, the first time they had Alonso. But yeah, what happened that their car is so bad? Like, they fell out so badly with Renault that they just made a car that barely moves. You know, sometimes they're fighting over who is winning the 19th position rather than having the 20th. It's crazy that they're fighting over something like that when they could be fighting for at least the 10th position, 9th, 8th, maybe even higher. Having 3 drivers within a year, one which has been there constantly, another one who was fired after 6 races and when he scored no points, and then you put another driver in who has done all the other races but also scored no points, and then just going, let's renew his contract and hope for the best. Well, hopefully he'll be able to start afresh, Colapinto, because you'll have a different engine, and hopefully that will change your luck a bit more, because, you know, I want to see each team do well. Obviously that's impossible. Some teams aren't going to do as well, because next year we have another team on the grid and someone has to be 22nd, someone has to be first, and and it's not that easy. Some teams are going to win, some teams aren't going to win, but to be able to have the potential to win, a lot needs to change, and a lot of good luck needs to go their way next year, because this year was absolutely abysmal, and I think everyone can agree on that. Now with Aston Martin, I could have gone for the basic thing of still having Stroll in the car, but I decided to be a little bit more unique, I guess, or just a bit less harsh. It's allowing so much bad luck to go to Alonso's racing capabilities. He is much better than his points suggest, but he only started scoring points near the halfway point of the year. Obviously memes are going to be memes, comedy is going to be comedy, but allowing him to have so much bad luck, where he says that other people get away with crimes, and he has to get the bad end of the stick, or him saying he's the unluckiest driver ever. It doesn't show much confidence. Obviously, with Adrian Newey coming in and designing the next car for 2026, you're hoping that we'll see an Alonso revive, or it'd be great if he got his third title, especially with him not being as young as all the other drivers. He is the oldest driver, being in his mid-40s now. You want the best for him, and all of this bad luck is just not giving good vibes, is it? I just feel bad for him. He deserves so many more points than he's on. And now let's talk about Mercedes. So Mercedes, for me, it's allowing Kimi to have as much stress around him as he had during the European stints. He was overstimulated by pressure, mainly just sort of being surrounded. I understand that your close family and friends are there to support you, but sometimes you don't always need to have them there. Personally, from my own experience, the amount of times I had to retake my driving license only for realizing that perhaps I was put under too much pressure from knowing that my dad was in the back of the car, and then finally the fourth time around, when I finally passed, he wasn't in the car. Maybe it sort of released the stress for me. So I feel like him being surrounded by so many people that are expecting so much out of him perhaps made him mentally overstimulate without even realizing, and the pressure built up, because he does incredibly well when he's not in Europe, when he's not on a European track. So I feel like he was just overstimulated and overpressurized, and now he's going on all these tracks that he never went on in F2, and he's doing amazing. So I feel like Europe was a big stressy part. So Red Bull, this one was difficult between still having Christian Horner as as the team boss, and not allowing Yuki into the seat from the beginning of the year, rather than putting him after 2 races. But I essentially went for Yuki. I feel like he would have done a lot better, got used to the car more, and understood the difficulties, and be able to give valuable feedback from the experienced driver if they would have had him do the testing, so they could do any last minute checkups and fixes before anything would have gone fully on the road in Australia. I feel like from the perspective of Racing Bulls and making the car a bit easier to drive in the senior team, I feel like Yuki was the most capable person to do this, but chucking him in the 3rd race rather than having him from the beginning, I feel like that purposely put him in a bad bad spot, and now it's costing him possibly his career in Formula One because the only seats that are available are in racing bulls. But why would they take someone who has spent like 4 or 5 years in that team when it's meant to be the junior team? I feel like that's not the intention that they were going for with that team, and it's not looking good. I feel like you might have to do like a year out, like Valtteri, like Perez did, just to get himself back into a frame of things, unless a miracle happens where they decide to keep him on, but I don't know how likely that is. Now, Ferrari. Ferrari, how many mistakes have you made? So many. But the biggest one for me is changing about 95% of the car for the last year of a regulation run, and because the car was a lot better last year. They were second in constructors. They're currently fourth in constructors this year. They were second in constructors last year. It went down to the wire for the championship in terms of constructors. It was that close that it was literally whoever was first, or whoever had the highest point scoring position, whether it was McLaren or whether it was Ferrari, it was between those two. And because it was Lando versus Carlos at the time, and they were 1-2, it was it was intense. Whereas now, you see Ferrari crying more than being proud of themselves and fighting with each other. The big boss of Ferrari, John Elkann, telling the drivers to drive better and shut up and all that. They're losing the plot and the focus. So it's not surprising that they're fourth. They don't want to be fourth, but maybe next time when it's the final year of a regulation, don't change your entire car if you know that what worked before worked a lot better, because you're going into unknown territory, and you are the odds aren't in your favor, I'm afraid, because there's a lot of untested unknowns. Now, what can I say for McLaren? There have been quite a few things that you could say. With the timing of when this podcast gets released, they have been disqualified for having too much plank wear being coming off of their cars, for the cars being too low to the ground, and as a result they were both disqualified, losing them a lot of points, with Lando finishing the race in second and Piastri finishing the race in fourth, and eventually they had no points instead. But Papaya Raw's playing fair. They threw out the possibility of raw racing drama by infantilizing an adult sport, and I feel like it's not about two siblings being able to share a toy. It's you're big boys now, and you should know how to behave, but you shouldn't also be told how to behave, and you shouldn't bicker, but you shouldn't have to have someone step in and be like, no, that wasn't nice, you need to play fair, because it just takes it takes out the racing from the racing. You're no longer going fast, you're going side by side in a traffic jam, and it's just not what you're expecting from a team that's winning constructors titles and having both their drivers in contention for the drivers' championship, and you're there telling them to be good little boys. It doesn't fit. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Formula Amateur. Please check out my lovely colleagues on the Be The Change Media Network. Check out the website, BeTheChangeMediaNetwork.com. We have some amazing content coming to you every single week, and new things coming soon. And have a lovely weekend. The next episode will be the Las Vegas race rundown, so get ready for that. and I will see you on Monday. Goodbye.